Here we go, another Atheist Sunday School, another Women of the Bible. Hannah, the mother of Samuel. Lesson 8. 1. Hannah could live under disgrace. 1 Samuel 1, 2. Of course, you can go to KingJamesBibleOnline.org if you want to see these verses also. During the Old Testament times, it was a disgrace for a woman not to be a mother, and for many years Hannah lived under this disgrace. In our day, there are so many things that we as Christians do unconsciously or unknowingly that bring us under reproach and disgrace. It is easy for a person to live as a Christian when all of the world is waving banners and shouting, "Hurrah, hurrah, what a wonderful Christian." However, when we do something wrong and then people look down upon us, it takes real Christian character to continue to stand and to live as God would have us do. First off, I personally think it's kind of barbaric to expect women to have children back then and to look down on them. And it's the same thing with rape victims back then too. If you read the Old Testament, and that's what people will tell you. Well, the reason why they had to pay 50 shekels of silver and marry, and why a rape victim had to marry their rapist is because the woman is an outcast now. Nobody's going to want her, and this and that and all this stuff. So, okay, if your God is so great and so wonderful and benevolent and love and all this stuff, why isn't there not a commandment that states thou shalt not treat a rape victim as an outcast? Thou shalt not look down upon a rape victim, And of course I mentioned that in one of my ebooks, what was it? The Holy Bible, what was it called again? I forgot. It's been a while since I did it. Oh yeah, the Holy Bible Reimagined. If you follow the link in the description, which probably will be a link eventually, you'll find that ebook. When I kind of rewrote the Bible, of course it's not as thick. Of course, it's a lot smaller. 2. She could live facing opposition. 1 Samuel 1, 6 through 7. Hannah lived in a household where others constantly reminded her of her disgrace. In fact, the one doing the reminding is called her adversary. People seem to have the idea that when they become Christians, all opposition ceases. That is not so. In reality, opposition doubles. Yeah, because you're busy trying to tell everybody you're Christian, trying to get everybody else to go to your church and all this stuff, and tell them they're evil and they're sinners, they're going to burn in hell and all that stuff, and people really don't want to hear that. 3. Hannah wanted to be what she was supposed to be. 1 Samuel 1, 8. Hannah wanted to be a mother, and nothing else would satisfy her. Verse 5 and 8 says that with all of the gifts that her husband gave her, she still could not be satisfied being anything less than what she was supposed to be. And her adversary, wow. And it was the other wife, of course, that could get pregnant. Hannah went to the right people for advice. It came time to go up to Shiloh to make the sacrifice. So she went up to talk to the priest to find out what she might do. This is a tremendous place to impress upon all ages the necessity of going to spiritual people for advice concerning spiritual decisions. To teach the youngsters to go to their Sunday school teachers, the preacher and the Christian school teachers. How dare we accept advice from ungodly people? And I have, a bunch of preaching CDs from when I was a Christian. I love listening to them because they're hilarious. One of the things is the person, of course, mentions the same type of thing. People go to a psychologist, psychiatrist, and all these people. You're going to end up more messed up because they're ungodly, they're unsaved, blah, blah, blah. You come to us who have no real education. And most of the problems that people have, really, you can just go to another person, obviously, and they could probably help you, especially if they've been through that same stuff. But if it's something like depression and things like that, go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Go to a mental health professional. Okay? Your preacher is not going to be able to help you. All those prayers and tithes are not going to help you. Okay? You cannot pray that depression away. You can't pray the gay away. Sorry, I had to say that because it kind of rhymes. It just came into my head. 5. Adversity brought her closer to the Lord. 1 Samuel 1:10. Think of all the opposition, personal turmoil, and bitterness of soul that Hannah had, but she prayed unto the Lord. Adversity happens for many reasons. If the devil is trying to stop us, then the only way to defeat his purposes entirely is to use that to bring us closer to the Lord. Of course, if the Lord is working to bring us closer to Him, surely that too must be done. Adversity should always bring us closer to to the Lord. I mean, there's one, actually I heard it from several preachers, but one just recently, like last week, I was listening to a CD, and it's just hilarious hearing preachers say this statement. It's basically, we had the best job in the world. I mean, you know, only a few people God calls to be preachers. We are the best. You know, we had the highest calling in the world. Higher than let's say doctors and scientists and all this. They are above them. Is what they actually come out and say this. People with no education think they're higher than the people with education, and they think they have a right to debate a scientist. Please watch my video, Science versus Pseudoscience. I discuss a lot of things about science, how to discern science and pseudoscience, and I kind of go into this stuff in that video. It's just amazing to me when these people think they're higher than a scientist. I mean, you know, yeah, they're higher than a journalist, a person in the media, because the media is basically no better than a preacher, except for the media are complete liars. All of them, pretty much. At least there's some preachers that are honest. They actually believe the stuff they say, you know. And they actually do want to help people. A lot of journalists I know do too. But a lot of people in the media, they just lie to you. And it doesn't matter if they're conservative or liberal. They exaggerate, they lie. If it's a person of a different ideology, they're going to mainly report negative things they say or do, like this Vows lady. You know, I would not want her. I don't think she's qualified to be where she's at. However, she made a statement by HBCUs, you know, having a purpose, and basically she says actually what would be considered a nice thing. She just didn't mention the fact that, well, black people didn't have any other choice. She just didn't say that. They were not happy about it, so they call her all these names. But if these people are trying to help these HBCUs and these black colleges, isn't that a good thing? Oh well. 6. She knew how to pray. Little children should not grow up without hearing their parents praying for them. Here is a good spot to stop and ask the question, how many times a day could we find time to pray? Upon awakening, when parting, at times of eating food, when meeting others, when hearing of problems, etc. And I got this other, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt again and go off on a tangent. This social justice warrior nonsense, how many of these professors that are social justice warriors that think that they're right about everything, their ideology is perfect and all this, how many of them ever worked or volunteered at HBCU or would actually work at one? How many of them do you see volunteering? 7. Hannah prayed until the answer came. She did not pray a simple prayer, like now I lay me down to sleep. She prayed earnestly and fervently until she knew that God was going to give her that for which she asked. I think all of us that have been Christians have done that. And, you know, prayers don't get answered any better than chance. 8. She vowed to use the gift for the Lord. Hannah had prayed asking God for the gift of a son. When the gift was promised, she in turn vowed that she would use it for the Lord. How dare we use any godly acquisition in a way that would not bring honor to the one who bestowed it upon us? I like that. It's true though. She asked for a son, and we all know why. If those of us that know the Bible, you know why males are worth more than females. The Bible actually comes out and says it. I think it's in the Book of Numbers. But really, does it really matter if you have a boy or a girl? Seriously, who cares? 9. Hannah was sweet when she misunderstood. 1 Samuel 1, 13 through 15. She had been praying and the priest saw her, but not realizing that she was praying, he thought she was drunken. What a good spot for her to rise in righteous indignation. But she very sweetly told the priest that she was not drunken, but pouring out her soul before the Lord. What a time for us to learn the truth that people are not always going to understand what we do. And human nature being what it is, we will never be given the benefit of the doubt. And I kind of agree with a lot of this part, though. Let's face it, sometimes we do say and do things that we don't really mean, or we regret, and we apologize. And a lot of people will not accept your apology. Social justice warriors and the media are examples. They'll destroy your career, destroy your life, and everything. They don't let you apologize. They don't care. But if they make the same mistakes, you better accept their apology. They want you to accept their apology. That's why they turn on each other so easily. And religious folks are the same way. That's why I've made videos comparing religious people with social justice warriors. 10. Hannah remembered her vows. 1 Samuel 1, 24 to 28. Hannah had promised the Lord that if he would give her a child, she would in turn lend the child to him as long as he lived. When the time came for the child to be old enough to be out from under her protection, she then brought her child so that the vow might be honored. 11. Hannah gave God the credit for the victory. 1 Samuel 2, 1 through 10. Hannah's prayer is one of the greatest Old Testament songs of victory. For in it she gives God all the credit for the blessing that she had attained. Excuse me. What a wonderful way for little children to grow up remembering mother as one who sang the praises of God as she went about her daily duties. Yeah, not teaching her science or mathematics or critical thinking or argument styles, logic, debating, things like that. No. Mathematics, no. But religion, something very useless. 12. To be what she was supposed to be was the greatest thing in her life. 1 Samuel 2:8. When she was saying that the poor sat upon the dunghill and that the Lord could set among the princes, it seems that she was saying that she was once as the poor, but now it was as if she were sitting among the princes. The only thing that had changed in her life was the fact that she had now become a mother. And becoming a mother, she had attained that position that she felt God would have for her. And as such, she was at the highest pinnacle. 13. She gave her best to the Lord. When Samuel was born, he was her greatest possession, but she still gave him to the Lord. We would teach our students the joy of giving our best. 14. She did not want to have her family have any exceptional consideration. The love coat that Hannah yearly took to her son in the service of the Lord was, aside from all the spiritual implications, a covering for his body. As a youngster, he did not know enough to be of real use in the business of God. She did not want him to be a burden that he could not be absolved by his own efforts. And that's good too. I like that part though. People should pay their own way, make their own way if they can. If you can, you should help others. But of course, you shouldn't be such a prick and think that if a person can't make their own way, that you shouldn't help them. And that anyone who can't make their own way is just a freeloader. Conclusion. Most every point in this lesson is a good point, applicable to any age. We all need to have the Christian characteristics that Hannah had. Review the lesson and pick out those characteristics that members of your class really had. Really need, I'm sorry. Well, bye.